So I wanted to spend some time helping people that are looking to open up a Brightway Insurance franchise. One of the first questions that most people ask is to tell me a little bit about the journey that you went on. So I want to share my story. So initially out of college, I was in the restaurant business. That was my background. So I learned how to balance a P&L, how to hire employees, how to fire employees, how to grow a team and build a business. And it was very, very useful. But what I found is I wanted to do something entrepreneurial and get out on my own. And in 2006, I started a scratch Brightway agency. I would call it less than scratch. I had 0 clients, 0 referral partners. I had very little clue actually what I was doing. And I leveraged the Brightway system to learn and grow and to build a team and a business that's beyond my wildest dreams. And, you know, like again, going back to that time in 2006, it was just me in a tiny little office with 1 team member. And each year we grew by adding another team member, trying to work myself out of the current role that I was doing, developing somebody else, and then just keep repeating that process to building a team. And you know, over the last 18 years, we did that. We added another team member and we grew exponentially. An average insurance agency writes about $400,000 to $500,000 a year. Our Brightway agency writes $1 million a month or $12 million a year. And that was an incremental growth over the last 18 years, but it shows that if you leverage the system, what is actually possible. I invested heavily in growing great people, building great processes, and making sure that the experience that the clients we provide is exceptional. And I think that's kind of our secret sauce. It's our people, our process, and we've been able to leverage the Brightway system to our benefit. And you know, they're touching our clients on the service side over 1,000 times a day. And there's no way we would be able to scale a business to a $50 million agency without that support and without utilizing that leverage for that growth. I will tell you that the beginning is hard. You have to be willing to grind, put your head down, and those first 2 or 3 years are absolutely brutal. I left a very high salary job to start this, and in my first year made very little money. And in my second year, very little. So it takes 2 to 3 years to actually have this be a business because the margins are very small. But the opportunity is endless. The growth is absolutely there, and you can build an amazing team using this leverage and using the Brightway system. And you know, there's many things that they kind of provide for you. The main one is kind of that service center team, and they have about, I would have an additional 15 to 20 employees based on my size if I had a traditional agency. And those team members, those customer service team members, are very hard to find. And so I've been able to leverage the system, and I focus on finding great people that can build relationships, that can help create a great experience and onboard new clients. And I use the Brightway system to make sure that they get their service that they need. And there's tons of other things that they do for us, whether it be accounting, quality assurance, compliance, training, access to the Brightway University. So there's so many value adds that Brightway does. And one of the other objections that we get a lot is, you know, why are you paying so much to Brightway on that commission side? And it's a very valid question, right? And so if you break it down and think about it, if I was doing the service and I had those 15 to 20 extra team members, you know, it would cost me about 35% to manage that and to do it right with a great team. And so if you think about like the leverage, and with Brightway, you're getting that amazing service team, you're getting a leadership team that's focused on the future, technology, compliance, there's carrier relationships. I mean, I could go on and on and on. If you are able to utilize the system and provide a growth trajectory, then it makes sense. And that's what we've been able to do. We're utilizing the system the best way that we can to make sure that we have exponential growth, and really it's limitless. I mean, this can be a $100 million agency. And so we had a very long-term goal to get it to a $50 million agency. Almost no agencies in the country reach that level, and we're not done. And there's a lot more opportunity just by being part of the network. And the other thing that's wonderful is we're a Knights of the Round Table organization, and you don't have to start at the bottom of the mountain. You can start at the middle. I've already got my face kicked in. I've made all the wrong choices and decisions, and you can learn from that. And you can basically, again, start at that middle of the mountain and learn from my things that don't work, and also learn from the things that did. And it basically, what it's really doing for you is it's giving you a recipe. Or it's a GPS, like how do you get to the place that you want to get as fast as you possibly can. We've been very intentional in the model to work on relationships and building relationships. And we have focused on the home buying process. So we work with lenders and realtors to make sure that they know that we can be that resource for them, and we can make the process easy. And so we came up with 20 ways that we add value to them. And we basically have a cup of coffee every single week, each member of our sales team with a potential center of influence. And so if you are having 9 people that are having a cup of coffee every week, that's over 500 potential relationships. And all you're doing is trying to find a way to add value to them so that they trust you and that you will reinforce the relationship they have and make the process easier. So we've created over 600 relationships with referral partners, realtors, and lenders, and we get over 6,000 referrals through that process. We also have done a number of things, like we created a mastermind for real estate agents. We get a ton of leads from our Google reviews. We have almost 900 Google reviews. We get a ton of leads from the Brightway website from people that are moving to the area. Our SEO is very solid. And so there's a lot of opportunity, there's a lot of ways to grow this business, but we've focused on building relationships with folks that can send us multiple referrals and being a value add to them. And that's really how we've grown our business. One of the most common questions I get is, how do you build a great team? And one of the awesome things about the Brightway franchise is that you can build a business that has autonomy, provided that you find great people, that you train them and invest in their growth and development, and show them how to create a great experience. And so when we look to hire somebody, we like to say we go land, air, and sea. So a lot of different ways, and we put an open position available. We get almost 300 applicants for that open position. And we're doing things like online social media to let our influence from our team and our staff know that we're hiring, and we have some posts that we post on there. We use a program called Handshake, which connects with the local colleges. We do belly-to-belly recruiting. You go to a coffee shop and someone's got a great attitude. That person had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And if they got a great attitude, we can teach them this business and teach them a career. We have relationships with some of the top restaurants in town where we ask the proprietors or general managers, hey, you got a team of 50 people. Tell me 1 or 2 people that you would love to give an opportunity for, that would love to build a career. So you do it land, air, and sea. You do it through Indeed and all those other normal ways. But really what works is just all of them, and getting it out there and getting as many applicants into your funnel as you possibly can. We built a hiring website. We direct everyone to that website, and they do an online interview, and we've automated a lot of the steps, but we have 21 steps for someone to come and work with us. And I think it's really important that you get the right folks and you have a system for making sure that it's a mutual beneficial good fit for every team member that you bring on. And then a lot of other folks ask me, another question that I get all the time is, well, how do you compensate them? How do you pay them? How do you keep them motivated? Well, what we did was we built a process and system with about 8 different positions that they will come in and start at and grow their way to establishing a career. And so we bring on generally folks in our client concierge position. That team member is somebody that is, the director of first impressions. They're the person that smiles and greets you. They're the person that onboards you as a new client and makes you feel valued and special. They're the person that sets up new administrative tasks to get new clients into our process. And that new position, that client concierge position, is something that they validate their way through, and we teach them how to do quoting, and they are learning the next position that they will go to, which is a junior producer. And a junior producer is a new position that we created where they'll work underneath a mentor and they will learn how to become an agent. And you cannot be an agent in our office. We've made it like a law partner where you have to build 5 personal referral relationships. You have to pass our secret shops. You have to get Google reviews. You have to be a ninja or an expert on all 5 lines of our main products. You have to know all of our carriers and how to bind them. So we work you through that process of learning how to be a junior producer on-the-job training, and we're gonna develop you. And when you're ready to validate, then you can become an agent. And when you're an agent, there's also 4 levels that you can earn your way through based on level of production, value that you bring, how many relationships that you've created. And so you're building a pathway and you're lighting that pathway up to show people kind of where they can start, where they're going, what's next, and you make sure that the opportunity is limitless. There is no ceiling on where they can go and what they can earn. The last question I will hit on is, what advice would you give me if I'm looking to start a Brightway franchise? What advice would you give? And I would just say, begin with the end in mind, but also realize that the first 2 to 3 years are gonna be tough. You're gonna have to grind, you're gonna have to work really, really hard, you're gonna have to put your head down, you're gonna have to be a sponge to the business. You're going to have to use your resources, leverage the Brightway system to learn as fast as you can. And you're gonna have to get good at building relationships, building referral partners. And then after those first couple of years, then you can start to scale it with your team by adding new team members, by providing tremendous growth opportunities for them. And you just continue to develop folks and you continue to have a great experience. And another just a bit of advice is I would try to keep your expenses in the very beginning as low as you possibly can. Like, you don't want to spend a lot of money on rent, and you want to build your team correctly with the right people at the right time. And so your margins are very tight, so you want to just make sure that you're very careful about those first couple of years, and you just put your head down and grind. And then you'll look up and you'll go, wow, I've built a foundational business that I can see a great, amazing future. The thing that I'll end with is, I've had this conversation many times. I understand what you're feeling and what you're going through and trying to make this decision. It's a very, very big decision. I speak all over the country to insurance agents at conferences and do keynotes. And I've tried to collect all of that information into a book. And this book, Business Masterclass, is my secret recipe. It's everything that I did to grow my business. And it's on Amazon. 100% of not the proceeds, but the revenue goes directly to nonprofit charities in our local community. So you're making an impact. It's a very quick read, and it can be your guidebook on running an agency. If you read this book and you've watched this video and you want to chat with me and have another conversation and maybe get deeper on something, I'm happy to set up a meeting with you after you do those 2 things. So best of luck to you on your journey. I will be by your side to help you in any way that I can. It's a great opportunity. I love the Brightway system. It has been very, very important to me. And I think at the end of the day, you just have to make the decision, and then it will be the right one. I've never been more excited about what the future is there with the new leadership team, the investment in technology, and the infrastructure and fixing systems and processes and making sure that it's a very, very wonderful experience. So like I said, I've never been more excited about what the future brings, and I wish you the very best of luck on your journey.